it doesn't bother me because we live in a world of the world of the internet, and that is why there is something called cybercrime. Cyber criminals have no tribal marks. They sometimes just do this to cause distraction. There are also those they call ethical hackers who hack for good. So if you live in an internet world, there are certain things that you need to understand. INEC has continued to digitalize its electoral process, removing the human element gradually. The by end of that is that there are risks. Preparation for that risk is part of the overall election planning and administration thing that INEC needs to put on the ground. If it didn't do that, then these consequences that we are talking about will have happened. The fact that it firewalled its systems is why the hackers were unsuccessful. The honesty and transparency of bringing that to the public shows a public institution that is also opening up its system to build confidence. Because there was no gun on the head of the INEC chairman to tell the world that this is what happened. So for me, I am more interested in understanding that no country can completely outsource its processes to technology. There is a sense in which we begin to eulogize and glamorize technology as if it can solve all the problem of the world. But the reality is that the consequences, the downside of it, can sometimes put a black, slur on even the advantage it brings. What happened to us is that the trust deficit, the trust threshold is just amazing. In Osun, for instance, because a lot of people were going into the results portal at the same time, there was a slow. Nigerians went and said, hey, they are not ready to transmit the result anymore. When progress is being made, is it also a problem not to recognize that there has been incremental progress? Because if you stay in the mindset that progress is not being made, you will not even be able to see when that progress is coming. Since 2007, our election administration has had incremental progress. When President Yar'Adua said that the election that brought him was fraudulent and set up the Justice Uwais Electoral Reform Committee. In bits and pieces, the report is being implemented and we are seeing those changes. So there is a place in which you can be stagnated mentally and have a failure psychology that you will not be able to see when progress is being made. So the threshold of integrity of elections is increasing. First of all, we had issues with voter identification theft, where people had more than 1 or 2 PVCs, and then we went and brought the smart card reader. The politicians attacked, through the judiciary, attacked a system that had no issue, because it has been able to, it was dealing with voter identification theft. It was showing that the bearer of a card, is the authentic bearer of that card. And the politicians didn't want that. They went to court and blackmailed the smart card reader. INEC said, okay, so what do we do? They went ahead again and brought BVAS. The reform conversation has not dragged in the politicians. We are reforming systems, INEC and all of that, but we are not talking to the politicians who are the purveyors of everything that diminishes the character and integrity of our electoral system. Who snatches the ballot box? Who pours ink into the ballot? Who introduces toggery? Who is the vote trader? The politicians and their candidates. They always look for dubious advantage. They rig election that they are going to win. And nobody talks up. Nobody is interested in dragging them into the... See, if we spend 10 minutes in this our conversation, we are only going to be talking about INEC. The other stakeholders who contribute to whether election is good or bad are left off the conversation, and they are comfortable in that space. They are happy making INEC the fall guy. So, are there people who want to undermine the electoral system? Definitely. People who are not even confident that election that they win, that if they allow it to go properly. That's why the internal governance system within the political parties is messed up. They come from give tickets. We gave him the ticket. They don't like contest. If the political parties cannot obey rules that they give to themselves, it is practically impossible for them to externalize that outside. Majority of the parties in the states are in court over candidacy issue, originating from lack of internal party democracy. That is not a conversation. Nigeria has not put that conversation on the table, that the machine, the leadership recruitment machine of the country is wobbling and has no capacity to even deal with its own internal issues in a way that guarantees fairness, equity and justice. All of them. How then are we expecting them to exemplify that if they get into power? Including the one you think, all of them. They broke all the rules. Somebody jumped from one party to the other. Just left this way, he brought from here, before you know it is already a candidate here. And we are celebrating, all of us are clapping. In the places where we copy this thing, is that how it is done? So, if the conversation about ethical governance within political parties does not happen, it will have its concomitant effect on the quality of governance that they will bring. They have National Working Committee. They have NEC. They have the Congress. Go and investigate and find out how many of the political parties have NEC meetings or National Working Committee meetings, including the most celebrated. You will be shocked that internally their members complain to you that what is being run in their party is a one-man show.